Hey, Tomas, good to see you again. I am Dr. David Arrington. I'm the COO of Arrington Coaching, and I am here with Tomas. He is a recent graduate of the Ascend Executive Leadership Development Program that we run at Arrington Coaching. And he's going to first introduce himself, and then we're going to talk a little bit about his experience in the program. So over to you, Tomas.
Yeah, thanks, David. So, my name is Tomas Carlos. Currently serving on the as a government DoD employee with the Joint Staff. I'm assigned as a branch head in the Joint Staff J1. So I've been in my current position for about going on probably as long as I've been in this. Right before I got in this course here, so about nine, maybe 10 months at this point. But I've been in retired Marine Corps officer, 27 years, and just really appreciated my time and working with Arrington Coaching. So
Outstanding. So you said you're in the program. So you were in Ascend. It's an 8-month program, which is why pretty much you got to this assignment pretty much in line with this. So tell me, what was it like going through the program?
the program was very, I'm going to say intense, because you have to manage your time. It's not a lot of work, but if you're not careful, you have to kind of make sure you schedule the time to go through and do the courses, and make sure you schedule the time to set up your interviews with David on a monthly basis. But I think all of the courses, it's very easy to use, very user friendly. It's all online learning, which is kind of the wave of the future, I think, now for most classes. I've taken some online college courses, actually, but I think the program was very well laid out. It made sense. It's sequential, and it just kind of builds on one module, builds on the next, and I think it's a very, very good program.
Oh, appreciate that. Let me ask, as you talked about having the courses and obviously coaching, we had cohort meetings.
Mhm.
As you think back over the whole program, what were some of your big takeaways? What did you learn through the program, through the process, that was either a reminder or something that was kind of a light bulb moment that helped you to become a better leader?
Well, David, I mean, I think really, like, some of the things that stick out to me was, some of the leadership coaching and team building modules that you gave. I think I really enjoyed the accountability, the portions, the main hub around that, about accountability and how to do the 5P meetings with, and I wrote some notes down here. So the progress with plans, how to get your employees to deal with their problems, how they're going to prevail, and setting priorities. I think that, to me, is kind of one of the big takeaways, is how to, that accountability is not a bad thing, that it's actually a good thing, and then we all kind of crave it anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And even though it's kind of meant for you as a leader to work with your employees, it kind of resonated with me too, because I found myself sometimes going through, and when I was getting some direction from my leaders of, okay, how am I gonna, what's going to be my progress plan, how am I going to attack this problem, how are we going to
Mm-hmm.
prevail, etc. So it kind of works in a circle, I think, where you work with the people that work for you, but then you also use that to kind of help you with your leaders that you're trying to support. So that's kind of my big takeaway from the whole program.
So your big takeaway was figuring out how to actually implement the accountability everyone's always talking about, right? Because
Yep.
that's fundamentally what happens. So that's a big one. Let me ask another question. Through the process, you met some colleagues, right?
Yep.
How was the cohort process for you?
I think the cohort process is very good, because you get to listen to the way that other people think, like their thought process. A lot of times you think that you're going through this alone.
Mm-hmm.
You're not really going through it alone, right? There's other leaders that are in the same organization you are, that want to make sure they're doing the right thing, and you kind of bounce ideas off them. And try and hear how they handle a situation or what they're doing in their organization. So I think that's the good thing about the cohort is that you get to hear other people talk, their thought, how they think, how they express themselves, which is I think it's important to do because you can learn better from others than you can just doing things on your own.
Sure. Excellent. So did you have any outcomes during the process or ideas that you were able to implement? I know you mentioned the 5P process. Were there any other ideas or things that you were able to readily implement that you feel leveled up your leadership?
Yeah, the main thing was the accountability and how to hold meetings, right? The meetings that matter, I think is what you call the module on that. Keeping it less than an hour, going in with a plan. I kind of critique my boss because some of his meetings go on now sometimes for an hour and a half, and I just kind of get frustrated just sitting there.
You were frustrated before. Now you just know why you're frustrated.
Yeah, like now you know why, right? It's like
Mm-hmm.
whenever I have a meeting, I try and keep it no more than 45 minutes, and then max. And then sometimes we talk, or sit there and kind of ask how everybody's doing. But as far as like the work portion of the meeting, I'm trying to keep it to no more than 45 minutes maximum, and then really hitting the points, and then doing a quick overview of the kind of the accountability portion. And then I'll do separate meetings with each of my employees to really dig into the accountability 5P meetings with them individually. The other thing I did do as well was, I we did go through and I kind of developed what my strategy was. And I haven't done it yet, but we're gonna have the meeting probably next week where we sit down all together and we're gonna come out of that in 1 hour with strategy for the branch. Because I've had people out on leave and this kind of things going on lately. But I think that's the other big piece is that.
And I have no doubt that with what you've learned in your past experience and how we've kind of fine-tuned it, that your strategy meeting will take an hour or less and you'll have a workable strategy on the other side.
I
So
think
let me ask, would you recommend Arrington Coaching in the Ascend program? I mean, the coaching part and because you basically took the whole buffet. You had coaching, you had courses, you had, you were in the cohort. You kind of got I almost said our Cadillac. Is that still the right one? You're talking about the highest premium brand, right? So let me ask, how would you recommend Arrington Coaching?
yeah, I would actually, and I'm not being. I think I would because I think even though like it's tough to say this, but I'm an older middle-aged man now, right? I'm in my 50s, but you're never too old to learn, right? And come up with new ideas, new thoughts, and I think a program like this just help you kind of learn new techniques, kind of hone other things that you've learned throughout your career, um, and just pick up new ideas, like I said, and learn new things. And I think learning, you never have anybody that to me that stops learning is kind of like, to me is kind of called it like quits on, hey, this is kind of where I'm going to be at. I'm not going to try and progress any further, which I think is always the wrong approach to take.
Sure.
And I think one of the quotes that I picked up when I was doing my review of the course was, I think Abraham Lincoln said, if you're gonna do something, or if you're gonna be something, be a good one. And I think this course kind of helps you get to that. If you're gonna be something, be a good one. Be a good leader, be a good manager, be a good employee. Because I think employee goes both ways. Sometimes to be a good leader, you have to be a good follower, right? And I think yes, I would recommend this program to anybody that is interested in learning and just taking it to the next level.
I appreciate that. Was there anything, because I know you mentioned you had some notes, was there anything that we didn't cover or something you wanted to say that we didn't get in there?
No, really, I think we hit it all. Just to really appreciate your time, David. I think that's one of the things I would say is that the coaching one-on-one sessions with you, that I would be just be ready to answer some tough questions and go through some very pointed conversations that will make you feel uncomfortable sometimes. And it's not I don't think it's intended that way, but I think it's intended to like make you kind of push you in a direction that you may not want to go, or you're not prepared to go. And sometimes being uncomfortable is a good thing, because it makes you kind of realize some things and get you out of your comfort zone. And yeah, it just makes you a better person, I think. So that's the other part I would say, is that the one-on-one coaching sessions are really very helpful, and they're a key part of the program. So
Excellent. And actually, yeah, a bit of discomfort is part of the process, right? Because if I'm only asking you questions you know the answers to, or questions you want to answer, you don't need me. You can look in the mirror and say that. It's when I start hearing what you're saying and hearing the situations, I can help you see things that either you already saw but didn't want to address, or maybe you just didn't see and now can address. So yeah, it's so I love that you're like, you can be ready for a little bit of discomfort. It's part of the process, right? It's part of it's par for the course, as they say.
But that was really the last thing I wanted to discuss. And other than that, just want to thank you, David, and just appreciate your time and that effort that you've put into this program. And it was worthwhile, and just want to thank you.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for taking the time to share your experience. I, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate it, Tomas. And working with you was a pleasure. Sad to see it end, but glad to see the changes and the growth that happened along the way.
Yep. Thank you.